As the oldest city in Georgia, Savannah has been on the cutting edge of many things to be considered first of their kind, from art, culture, and inventions. So here are 7 things that Savannah had first. If you like this video, please hit the subscribe button and don't forget to hit that bell so that you'll be notified whenever we do an upload, and we do one each and every week. The historical record is not entirely clear on who designed Savannah's city plan and what inspired it. But what is clear is that in 1733, General James Oglethorpe led the effort to take the design from plan to reality. The plan was important militarily because it would make the city easier to defend from the Spanish to the south and against any potentially hostile Indians. Oglethorpe laid out the city around a series of 24 squares and laid out the streets in a grid pattern. Each square had a small community of colonists living around it and had separate lots dedicated to community building. For each of the free men who came to settle the new colony, Oglethorpe awarded 50 acres of land. Now, this included a house lot in the city of Savannah, a 5-acre garden lot outside of the city, and a 45-acre farm lot beyond the garden lots. The colonists usually lived in the city lot, thereby taking advantage of the safety of the city, and they worked their garden and farm lots for food and other resources. Noble Jones was the first surveyor in the new colony and helped Oglethorpe fulfill his dream of a planned city. Oglethorpe also worked with Colonel William Bull to lay out the new city. Bull came from South Carolina and served as the city's first architect, overseeing the design and construction of the earliest buildings. These early structures were all the same and were very basic, single-story clapboard homes, 24 by 16 feet in size, with a loft above and a small yard in the back. Oglethorpe and Bull originally laid out 4 wards and 2 rows along the Savannah River. The wards were directly correlated with the garden and farm lots located outside of the city, so communities were kept together both inside and outside the city. Each ward centered on a square and had 4 tithings on the north and south sides of the square. Tithings were rows of house lots, 10 lots long. On the east and west sides of the square, there were truss lots used for public buildings such as churches or the courthouse. Today, Savannah is one of the largest urban historic districts in the United States, and most of Oglethorpe's original plans remain. Tybee Island's lighthouse is the oldest and tallest lighthouse in Georgia. In fact, it's one of the most intact historic lighthouses remaining in America to this day. However, it wasn't always in such great shape. In 1732, General James Oglethorpe ordered the construction of the lighthouse tower. The building's development was completed in 1736, but was felled by a storm in 1741. The tower was rebuilt the following year by a man named Thomas Sumner. This time around, though workers used stone and wood, the lighthouse tower was not illuminated either time. Rather, the structure sported a very tall flagpole instead. After the second lighthouse was swept away by encroaching tides and erosion, a 3rd tower was erected in its place in 1773 by John Mulberry. Made of sturdy bricks and wood stairs and the landings, this base remains intact within the current lighthouse today. The stairs have been replaced with steel, and lights and lenses have been installed. The original lighthouse actually predates the city of Savannah by 1 year. The First African Baptist Church, located in Savannah, claims to be derived from the first Black Baptist congregation in North America. While it was not officially organized until 1788, it grew from members who founded a congregation in 1773. Its claim of first is contested by the Silver Bluff Baptist Church in Aiken County, South Carolina, also founded in 1773. The First Baptist Church of Pittsburgh, Virginia, whose congregation officially organized in 1774. The First African Baptist Church operates a museum which displays memorabilia dating back to the 18th century, and tours are given daily. Mulberry Grove Plantation, which is located approximately 2 miles northeast of this marker, is one of the most historic of the old Savannah River plantations. In early colonial days, mulberry trees were cultivated at Mulberry Grove for use in Georgia's silk industry. Later, it became one of the leading rice plantations of Georgia. At the end of the Revolution, the plantation, which had belonged to Lieutenant Governor John Graham, a Royalist, was granted by the state of Georgia to Major General Nathaniel Greene as a reward for his military services. General Greene was residing at Mulberry Grove at the time of his death on June 12, 1786. But this is not the historic first. In 1793, Eli Whitney, who was a tutor for the Greene children, invented the cotton gin at Mulberry Grove. The following year, a large ginning machine was erected at the plantation, and its foundations are still there today. Some people believe that with the invention of the cotton gin, the Civil War became inevitable. Designed for Alexander Telfair, the Telfair Mansion was constructed in 1819 on the site of the former colonial government house, the official residence of Royal Governor James Wright. Alexander commissioned William Jay, a young English architect, to design his new home. Jay had recently arrived in Savannah from England to oversee the construction of the residence of Richard Richardson, now the Telfair Museum's Owens Thomas House and Slave Quarters. In 1875, Alexander's sister Mary, heir to the family fortune and last to bear the Telfair name, bequeathed the house and its furnishings to the Georgia Historical Society to be opened as a museum. The society hired German-born artist Carl Brandt to create the new institution. Working with New York-based architect Detlef Lenau and Savannah-based architect Augustus Schwab, Brandt remodeled the old Telfair home and constructed an addition to house a new art collection. The museum opened to the public in 1886, making it the oldest public art museum in the South and the first museum in the United States to be founded by a woman. In 1794, the first golf course in America was established right here in Savannah. The Savannah Golf Club remains one of the most prestigious courses in the city. 100 years later, the club as we know it today was incorporated, and at the time, the remnants of Civil War fortifications were still scattered throughout the course. Those fortifications are still there today. Last, but by no means least, on March 12, 1912, at her residence on Lafayette Square, Juliette Gordon Low formed the first Girl Scout troop in America. Low's birthplace at the corner of Oglethorpe Avenue and Bull Street is maintained by the Girl Scouts of the U.S.A. and is a museum and national program center. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, please hit the subscribe button Don't forget to hit that bell so that you'll be notified whenever we do an upload, and we do one each and every week. Always remember, every trip starts with a step, and that step, well, it starts with you.